Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, September 19th. Impacts: we have winds with an associated cold front which will be sweeping across the Great Basin by this dashed line through here. Ahead of it, strong southwest winds across parts of central and eastern Utah. Also pulling up some monsoonal moisture into far southeastern Utah. Could be some localized wetting rains down there. To the north, across parts of Idaho and Wyoming, northwest winds. Maybe slightly higher humidity. It'll be cooler. There'll be some isolated showers, a mix of maybe some dry and wet lightning, not very widespread. Thursday, still breezy, but from the northwest, bringing cooler temperatures, but still the threat of fire spread across parts of Utah and Idaho and Wyoming, where you see the shading through here, and winds basically diminish on Friday. Looking at our past 24 hours, no precipitation or lightning of significance to speak of. Great Basin fire activity. New fire starts in the red, existing fires in the yellow. Open circles indicate recent large fire activity. Looking at observed precipitation, this is actually the past 14 days, and you can see that very little here on the left-hand side. The first shade of blue is just a couple hundredths of an inch, and the percent of normal over the past 2 weeks. This dark red here basically indicates 5 to 10% of normal precipitation for just about the entire geographic area. Explains why we are so dry, as seen here by the ERCs in the purple, 97th percentile to record levels. Dark reds are in the 90th to 97th percentile. You can see that the central area is the driest, but even parts of southern Utah, we've noticed significant drying and still hanging pretty dry, at least in some portions of the higher terrain in Idaho, and also, of course, obviously near record levels in Wyoming. Live fuel moistures, sagebrush also critically dry. Usually when they're below about 90 or 100%, they can support fire along with the dead fuels. You can see through here in certain spots they are about the 85th to 90th percentile to as low as in the 60th or to 70th percentile range across both Utah and central Nevada. Now our satellite imagery, this is the water vapor imagery. Shows water vapor that we cannot see with the naked eye. You can see a deeper plume here pushing out of Arizona into southeastern Utah, and this could trigger some showers and wet thunderstorms in our southern areas. Otherwise, drier air punching in from the west. The tight height lines through here indicate an increasing wind field, so wind will be another factor for today. So the upper level map on the left-hand side kind of mimics that water vapor imagery. You see some of that moisture in the green across southeastern Utah. See the drier air punching in elsewhere, and these tight height lines indicate the wind. So we have high risk here on the right-hand side for wind for a good portion of Utah, southern Idaho, into western Wyoming once again. Critically dry across Nevada, starting to modify a bit across northwestern Idaho. On the left-hand side, you can see the winds here of particular concern in the orange and purple shades across central Nevada, a good portion of Utah, and into southern Idaho as well. On the right-hand side, you can see the relative humidity, single digits to mid-teens in many areas under these winds, closer to 20% in our northern areas. Now on Thursday, we noticed that dry air starts to overspread the region from the south, but still a bit more moisture given by the black areas here in the north. We still have high risk for some winds across parts of Idaho and Wyoming and northeastern Utah. You can see the winds through here, the orange shades through parts of Utah into Wyoming and into Idaho. Those indicate gusts of over 30 miles per hour. Humidities, again, teens to near 20% for the most part. On Friday, we see the wind field slackening a bit here, the height line spreading through, so we have no high risk for wind, but still critically dry, where you see areas in the brown. Winds lighter here in the green shades, maybe 10 to 20 miles per hour. Maybe some localized higher amounts across western Wyoming into northern Utah. Humidity levels, again, in the teens in most areas. Not much of any precipitation across the region the next 3 days, except for southeastern Utah. Get a little clipping. Further down the road on Saturday, kind of a zonal flow. Starting to warm up and dry out a little bit, but wind not a major factor. As we go into the weekend to Sunday, the trough low pressure drops down through here, but still drier air. Big high pressure building just off the west coast, and by Tuesday that could bring warming through the Pacific Northwest, starting to enter the western portion of the Great Basin. 7-day precipitation, not much occurs during that whole time period, and the 8 to 14-day outlook shows a dry signal across our southern areas, otherwise basically near normal late September conditions. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.